Slick, have James Harden's Sixers put the NBA on notice?
No, they haven't put them on notice. They haven't put us on notice. They haven't put the NBA on notice. They haven't put my garbage man on notice, okay? They haven't given notice to anybody, okay? And look, it's 2 games. They played the most foul-prone team in the entire league, in the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they shot 36 free throws, and they won. They played the 12th place New York Knicks, who had lost 9 of 10 games, and they won. That's it. That's what we got. We got those 2 games. So what notice is there? Look, at least give me the weekend. They're going to play the Knicks again. They'll probably win. But then they play the Cavs, who are the least prone fouling team in the league. And then they play the Miami Heat, who have won 9 games out of 10. And if the Philadelphia 76ers get to Monday and they are on a 5-game winning streak, I still don't know that it's putting anybody on notice, but they'll have my attention then. They'll have done something that makes me, that gives me something worth paying attention to. But I've been down this road so many times with the Philadelphia 76ers that at this point to say, James Harden's in town, they've won 2 games, here we go. Like, no, let it breathe a beat, let them get a couple games under them. And do I need to remind you of the playoff history of Joel Embiid or James Harden? No, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to save that for my second lap. I'm just going to say we haven't seen enough yet to get as excited as seemingly Philadelphia 76ers fans are.
My dog Slick, becoming an even more expert on TV, giving us a cliffhanger, got me excited for your second lap. Yeah, NBA's on notice. Simple as that. James Harden, Joel Embiid, put the East on notice, put the West on notice, put Speak for Yourself on notice, put everybody on notice. The Sixers are the only team with 2 top 5 players in the NBA. And if y'all don't think they both top 5, the Sixers are still the only team with 2 top 10 players on the same squad in the NBA. What about Chris Paul? Yeah, he's hurt. What about Anthony Davis? Stop. The Sixers, Joel Embiid, James Harden. Embiid, best year of his career, 30 points, 11 boards a game. James Harden, now that he is happy with the team that he is playing with, is back in his bag. Gave y'all a triple-double in just his 2nd game ever in Philly. Stop playing. Anyway, the Sixers have put everybody on notice because while this is just the second date that we are assessing, and you cannot judge a relationship based upon a second date, I understand this much. The season is so close to an end that if this is the honeymoon phase will still take the Sixers exactly where they want to get to. I don't know if you all have ever been to a wedding of 2 elderly people. I have.
What's elderly?
And if you go to a wedding of 2 elderly people full of nothing but gray hair, you understand that they might be enjoying a honeymoon phase early on, but that honeymoon phase is still probably going to take them to the end of time, depending on how much time they got left. The season is coming to a close, y'all. So even if Embiid and Harden are in a honeymoon phase, the honeymoon phase is still going to take them to the end of the season. Ain't got that much season left. Embiid, Harden, 2 top 10 players, put the NBA on notice.
On notice, huh? The answer's in the word notice. Spell notice, Acho. N-O. No.
T-I.
Hell no, we ain't on notice. Know what? Know who they are? Don't do this. Like, Slick wants to get to it. I'm going to save some of these ribs for you, Slick, but I'm going to just enlighten everybody out there. What is this called, Acho? I just pulled out.
IFB, sir.
IFB. Let's talk about the IFB of these Sixers. The injury, the fatigue, and the bickering. Oh, it's coming. Let's talk about these boys right here. Let's hear it. Because you know damn well, if you're a betting man, one of the 3, if not all 3, are going to occur before this season's over. I don't wish ill on anybody, but the best indicator of future behavior is past behavior. James Harden, let's start here. It's hard for me to trust a dude that's been known to run from a challenge. It's hard for me to trust a dude who continues to alienate individuals, cities, and teams in the pursuit of his own championship. Everywhere you go, James Harden, there you are, big dog. So hopefully it works for you in Philadelphia. Joel Embiid, who's been a beast, MVP front runner right now. I'll give it to you. At the same time, there has been some injury concerns. There has been some fatigue concerns. And also some bickering concerns if you really want to talk about how Ben Simmons was pushed into a corner based on his own teammates' comments post-game last year. I just wonder how that's going to play out when they face adversity, because every team must face it, and you must overcome said adversity to get to the championship. I just wonder how this is going to play out. How glued will they stay together through that adversity? So, Slick, I know you got a lot of ribs and a lot to dump on the plate, so I'm going to let you go. But the IFB is talking to me, man. Injury, fatigue, and bickering.
Yeah, look, I consider myself a humanitarian when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers because I've seen the Philadelphia 76ers fans be taken through this. Consider me a basketball version of Oxfam or UNICEF at this point. I'm here to help Sixers fans not get sucked in to the same mistake. Why are we where we are right now? Why is James Harden in a Philadelphia 76ers uniform? One reason is because of supposedly what happened with Ben Simmons and the Atlanta Hawks and losing that series. And much of that has been blamed, if not all, on Ben Simmons and the fact that he refused to dunk an obvious dunk opportunity. What's been lost in that is that Joel Embiid disappeared at the end of that game, too. In the final 3 minutes, he had a missed shot, a turnover, and a missed three before hitting a meaningless layup in the final seconds. That was the extent of Joel Embiid's contributions in the final 3 minutes of that game in a three-point game. So let's not put all of it on Ben Simmons. If they win that game, then maybe we're not here. But they lost. On the other side of the equation, James Harden. Does anybody remember, Marcellus, you talk a lot about Kevin Durant's big toe in that final game against the Milwaukee Bucks. What we don't talk about is the fact that James Harden was 5 for 17 and 2 for 12 in that game.
Let's talk.
And if you want me to go back and through the history of James Harden Game 7s, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to hurt the Philadelphia 76ers fans' feelings any more than I already have. And you're going to have to excuse me. I'm going to have to refer to my notes here because I want to go through all of the other combinations that I've heard over the last 5-6 years when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers and how they were suddenly going to leap to prominence and they were going to win a championship. Are we ready? Michael Carter-Williams, does that ring a bell? Jahlil Okafor, does that ring a bell? Nerlens Noel, does that ring a bell? Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. And then Markelle Fultz, let's add him to the equation. And then Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler again. And then we had Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And Sixers fans, you're not fooling me. You told me that combination was going to take you somewhere. Oh, yeah, and then with Tobias Harris, and the process is going to make it all happen. So now I got Joel Embiid and James Harden, and I got 2 wins, and suddenly now they're going to go win a championship. How many times are you guys going to fall for this 3-card Monty before you go, I'm not going to get sucked into this game again? I'm here to help you not get sucked in again. All right? I love this combination. It's exciting. It's entertaining. Stop telling me that that the league is on notice, that here comes the Philadelphia 76ers to win a championship. I've heard it before, and I haven't seen it happen.
Ooh, Slick! Acho, retort, please.
Slick, I love your take, big dog, but this ain't no 3-card Monty. It's just a little 2-card poker. All I need is Harden and Embiid, big dog. I don't need to worry about no triune. I don't need to know about no Trinity, big dog. Here's the difference, Slick. Jimmy Butler's great. He's not James Harden. Markelle Fultz is supposed to be great, not James Harden. Jahlil Okafor is supposed to be a top tight, not James Harden. Nobody you mentioned, Slick Rick, is James Harden. Not Ben Simmons, not nobody. So we have not seen a combination as talented, as lethal, as experienced, and as individually successful as the combination of James Harden and Joel Embiid. It is a new day, and the greatness is new, and the greatness is here on the horizon in South Philadelphia, in Broad Street. I hear you, Slick. Because as Marcellus has so eloquently stated several times, the best indicator of future behavior is past behavior. But we have never seen the behavior of James Harden and Joel Embiid together. Slick, I quoted the great Will Smith last week. I shall quote him again in regards to people giving you their experience and their advice. You and now are a unique opportunity which we have not seen, of which you and now are the best indicator of performance. James Harden and Joel Embiid are a combination we have never seen, of which James Harden and Joel Embiid are the best indicator of performance. Not James Harden and Russell Westbrook, not James Harden and Kyrie Irving, not Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, not Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler. James Harden, Joel Embiid, and right now is a unique combination that the basketball world has never seen, of which they are the best indicator of success. And as I'm looking, they've been real successful these last 2 games, Slick.
They have been very successful, but it's a combination we've never seen before, because literally we've only seen it for 2 games. Okay, that's fine. We had never seen Kyrie and James Harden and KD together before, had we? No, and then we saw James Harden and KD, and we saw them in a Game 7, and where did that happen? And are you suggesting to me that Joel Embiid is better than Kevin Durant? Is that what you're saying right here? You're saying that Joel Embiid and James Harden is more lethal than Kevin Durant and James Harden. I just want to know if that's what you're saying. Is that what you're saying?
Here's what I'm saying, Slick. This is where people are lazy and ignorant. I'm not saying.
Whoa, wait a minute.
I'm not saying you are Slick, but I'm saying people.
They are. Okay.
Slick, I understand this much. I understand that, I personally prefer peanut butter, and I personally prefer, I could say marinara sauce. But peanut butter and marinara are not nearly as good a combination as peanut butter and jelly, Slick. Now, jelly, to me, useless. It is a useless condiment.
Stop saying that.
I do not use jelly for anything else but a breakfast sandwich, and it is typically always combined with peanut butter. But you combine peanut butter and jelly, I think we got something, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all sit here and take 2 separate, isolated ingredients, and we're supposed to assume that because they were both great individually, James Harden, Kevin Durant, that they're great together. Not necessarily true. What I'm saying is James Harden and Joel Embiid might be a better combination than James Harden and Kevin Durant because of the style of play. James Harden's going to spread the floor out. Joel Embiid said himself, I have never been more open in my career than these last 2 games. So while James Harden isn't necessarily going to be able to spread the floor out for Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant, as we all know, he typically plays the game on the wings. He plays the game on the edges, cutting, etc. For Joel Embiid, who plays the game on the low post and plays the game on the high post, having James Harden as a threat is going to be more of a additive for him than even Kevin Durant. So, Slick, Rick, I hear you and I understand your skepticism, but please be made a believer.
Oh, gosh, Slick, let me help. You don't need any help. You already whooped him up. You got the boy up here eating food that don't even go together. I hate when people get somewhere new and they be like, 2 days on your new job. This is the best job I've ever had. Like, shut up, fool.
That's what I said.
That's exactly. Shut up. Like you got to live a little bit. Give me some time. Give me some reps. Wait till I get to you. Then you're going to be like, damn, dog, it was kind of cool at the other spot. Here we go. Biscuits go well with jelly, too. Stop making that lie out there and that slander. Biscuits, you don't like biscuits? You don't like biscuits? Boys, stop. Y'all talking about 3-card money. Y'all talking about 2-card poker. How about 2 jokers and blackjack? Oh, you can't do that, huh? That's what you got right here. You got Joel Embiid with all his concerns, and you just hoping and praying that none of them come back to life. And then James Harden and all his issues, and none of them come back to life. But I'm going to give you something that's real. Doc Rivers up 3-1. How that play in your mind, huh? That Game 5 is going to be interesting because we know how Doc Rivers has been up 3-1 in series, has the most losses in up 3-1 series in NBA history. So Doc in Game 5 and then Harden and Embiid in the Game 7. That's 2 games of a 7-game series already that you got to just be a little nervous and apprehensive about this team. Let me give you some more things, Acho, to be apprehensive about. The worst rebounding team offensively in the league and the second worst totally in rebounds, 27th in three-pointers. So let me just give you a hypothetical. You're in the playoffs. You're already skeptical of Game 5 because the Doc up 3-1. You're already skeptical of this team because there's going to be a Game 7. And then Harden and Embiid both suffering in Game 7s. And the referees, you know they like to swallow those whistles in those playoff series. You know that, right? So these two games of 40 free throw attempts by Joel Embiid and 19 from James Harden. Remember early season James Harden trying to get those free throw attempts up and it wasn't working? What's going to happen postseason when that's the reality once again? I'm sorry, they don't have everyone on notice. Certainly not me. Coming up.